This key detail will unlock the Orlando Magic, catapulting them into championship contention, and it all starts with Desmond Bane's fit with this team. First and foremost, it's important to note that with the possibility of a Bane trade, he and his agent had the Magic at the top of their list in terms of destinations. So while leaving Memphis was undoubtedly difficult for Bane, he was drafted there. He spent the entirety of his career there thus far up until this trade. I think Desmond Bane fully understands how he fits with this team, B, where the Magic are going, and their incredible potential this upcoming season. So he's happy to be here in Florida, living his life in the Sunshine State. He's excited about his teammates, their skill, their size, their versatility, and he's recently expressed excitement about being noticed by you guys, the fans. He recently received a lot of love while he was in a bit of a sticky situation. So I'm going to fill you guys in on that story in just a moment. But first, I want to welcome you guys back to Magic Digest. It's your girl, your host, Sam Rodriguez, and I'm happy to be back. It's been a little bit since my last video after covering the majority of the Eurobasket tournament for you guys. I was sadly unable to cover the championship game that they won. I've been dealing with some personal matters, but like I said, I'm happy to be back, and I have to start this video by congratulating Germany, Franz, and Tristan for that huge win against Turkey in the championship game. It was Germany's first Eurobasket win since 1993, and now they're actually ranked number 2 overall in the FIBA World Ranking. So really, just what an accomplishment for these guys, and in such dramatic fashion. It was such a close game, the entire game, but when it came down to it, you cannot stop these guys. Shout out Dennis Schroeder. But I really, really loved, this was one of my favorite moments post game. Franz rocking his brother Mo's jersey while he received his All-Star 5 trophy. Obviously, his brother could not be there with him. He's still recovering from that ACL injury. So it was so nice to see this, and it was emotional for Franz, but it was so great to see him smiling. I feel like he really took this Eurobasket tournament seriously, and look, the work was worth it. That being said, I know you guys are excited to see these guys back in their Magic jerseys and reporting to training camp so soon. That is in 11 days, you guys, September 30th, if I did not count correctly. But that being said, we're getting very close to the season. So you guys have to make sure that you are locked in with us over here on Magic Digest. If you're watching and you are not subscribed, do me a favor, stop and hit that subscribe button. I see 67.5% of you are still not subscribed. And as I always say, we are trying to build this community over here on Magic Digest. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications so you don't miss a video. Now, we have been talking a ton about Franz and Tristan and Goga over these past few weeks, locked in on Franz's three-point shooting, Tristan's confidence, Goga's composure. But today we're going to talk about Desmond Bane and how important he is going to be for this Magic team as they try to contend this year, and they will absolutely be in contention. And he's going to be important in so many different ways. But first, let me tell you guys the story about Desmond Bane's interactions with the fans that kind of brought up this whole topic. I spoke about it in the intro. So he was recently asked if he's been noticed by the fans now that he's been living in Florida for a couple of months. And he said, like, I haven't been to the grocery store or anything, but his car actually broke down on the highway. So as he was pulled over, fans were rolling their windows down and yelling, Bane, Bane. So truly a hilarious way for fans to recognize you. But I think it's safe to say that Magic fans are really excited. There's a ton of buzz around the Magic here in the city, more than there's been in, I'm sure, like a decade. I've been seeing a ton of tweets about how this is a 50-win team. I've been seeing a lot of ECF or bust. I don't necessarily believe that. So many different things can happen. But the excitement is mounting for sure, and for good reason. And for the most part, I think Desmond Bane is that reason, right? And it's not just because he's a great three-point shooter. That's what we talk about a lot here. He's a 41% career three-point shooter, to be specific. But that's not the reason. It's because of how well he fits with this team, both in his skill set and with the culture. In an interview with The Athletic, Desmond Bane said that he just wants to come and be the glue, the guy that brings this whole thing together, kind of rounds out some of the gaps that they may have had in their team. And we know that one of those gaps is that three-point shooting. Like we mentioned, he's a career 41% three-point shooter, but important to note, right? He's not just an efficient shooter on like 2 or 3 attempts. He is looking for that shot specifically from or near the top of the key. And you can see kind of this shooting chart here. He is devastating from that area. You see 42% at the very top and 52% over there on the wing. And he attempts over 6 threes a game for the last 4 seasons. And what's so dangerous about his three-point shooting is how efficient he is both shooting in transition and off the catch and shoot. Last season, he shot 48.5% from three in transition, and he also made 42.3% of his catch and shoot threes on 2.6 attempts per game. So he's a threat from a lot of areas. I mean, he will undoubtedly improve this very, very huge hole in the Magic's offense, as he himself declared pretty enthusiastically while he was on the Young Man in the Three podcast, when the topic of the Magic's three-point shooting came up, how they ranked last in three-point shooting last season. Desmond Bane like quickly interrupted, saying, no, we're going to change that. We're going to change that. We're going to change that. I think he said it like 3 or 4 times. And there is nothing in the numbers that suggests otherwise. In fact, I'm going to give you one more crazy stat about his three-point shooting, just so you know, it's not like something that's being overblown in terms of how good of a three-point shooter he is. There are only 2 players in NBA history that shoot at least 40% from 3 with an average of 10 or more attempts per 100 possessions, while also averaging 6 assists per 100 possessions. One of those players is obviously Desmond Bane. The other, drop a comment below and go ahead and guess if you can before I actually say the name. The other player is Steph Curry. I'm just saying. And that stat, while unbelievable and crazy, what I love about it is that it also speaks to Bane's playmaking, which I think is one of his skills that is maybe not as talked about as much. But he's a very, very able playmaker. While he was in Memphis, he would often bring the ball up the floor, especially with John Morant out, and he's able to orchestrate the offense, finding the open man on the floor. As you can see here in his player graphic, he averaged 5.3 assists last season. And this is just going to be so huge, keeping in mind as well that both Franz and Paolo are decent playmakers as well, both averaging around 5 assists. Also, similarly to Paolo and Franz, Bane is incredibly good at accelerating, driving to the basket, being able to collapse the defense and find that open man. So he's just an incredibly versatile offensive weapon. And with his addition, the Magic will just have so many options to score. And we know that is a huge, huge need for them. And Desmond Bane knows this as well. He said having 2 6'10" guys, and by the way, he was kind of shocked that both of those guys were 6'10", who can put the ball on the floor. A guy like Suggs, who's tenacious on both ends of the floor, high motor. Wendell can stretch the floor and shoot it. It's just versatility everywhere. And I think that's what you need. You see the teams in the playoffs that are still competing. They have guys on the floor who can do multiple things and play at a high level and play very hard. And I mean, look at the guys on the Knicks, like Mikhail, Josh, good defenders, super high motors, especially Josh. Derek White, good defender, can shoot the hell out of the ball, playmaker. Lou Dort, amazing defender, versatile offensive weapon. Nickeil Alexander-Walker came in for the Wolves and made some huge plays. Alex Caruso. So that versatility is incredibly important. And I think with the addition of Bane, the Magic's versatility level just rose, and it's what's going to make them such a threat going into this season. And the other part is that Desmond Bane's also a relatively good defender, which we know fits the exact type of player that this Magic front office is looking for, and it's how they build their team. So you add him to an already top 2 defense in the league. I mean, it's just so easy to get excited about Desmond Bane. And I mean, I was excited about this trade when it happened. I remember just like seeing it on my phone and like the initial shock was there, but like it was quickly followed by a let's go. You can say the Magic gave up a lot if you want to. Maybe Desmond Bane isn't the like quote sexy name you hope for when you make this kind of blockbuster trade, but to me that just tells me uh you weren't paying attention to Desmond Bane while he was in Memphis. And listen, it's so difficult to watch every single game, so I understand. But B, sometimes people care more about the big name and the individual talent than they care about the right fit. And I think the fit is what is so important here. And going back to my last video that I made, it was about the potential trade for Trae Young, and I think the way. First of all, like I said in that video, I don't think that's ever going to happen. And I think the way that the Magic have built this team, like, there's no need for a pure point guard like Trae Young when you have multiple playmakers on the team, including a point guard who is so good defensively. So again, I second what I said last week. That trade is never going to happen. I don't want it to happen. But yes, back to the fit. Desmond Bane received super high praise from Jeff Weltman, the president of basketball operations. He said, the guy is almost the player you would design if you could start from scratch. That's such a crazy quote to me. Desmond is such a unique player because he's one of the best shooters in the NBA, but he's also a gifted playmaker. He generates shot creation for himself and for others. He checks every box. He checks every box. And I think the Magic have really done their homework in terms of how, they wanted to build this team. And again, finding the right players to fit this team, to fit the culture. And what's even more important here is that Jeff Weltman went on to talk about Desmond Bane's character. And he said that I can just tell you that there aren't too many people in the league that are regarded as highly in their locker room, in their organization, in practice as Desmond Bane. By all accounts, he's one of those rare guys that is going to, I believe, impact our team in every possible way. So when I say that the Magic did their homework here, it's not just his skill set. It's not just his incredible three-point shooting. It is his personality. He is very highly regarded, and people do love Desmond Bane as a teammate. So I think that Desmond Bane's fit, again, is just what's going to catapult this team into that next level. They haven't been able to make it out of the first round despite making the playoffs the last 2 years, and I don't think that is going to be a problem here. I think if all works out as it should with this team, then it's going to be scary hours in the Eastern Conference. I think there are some teams that should be worried about how they're going to defend this team. Like I said earlier, with Desmond Bane, Paolo, and Franz all being able to play make and pass out to the open man. If Paolo and Franz can just improve their three-point shooting just ever so slightly, yeah, this team will finish top 3. After watching a bunch of Desmond Bane highlights today, honestly, maybe I'm just feeling a little more excited about it. I think I would even venture that they might finish top 2 in the Eastern Conference. So again, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Maybe I just said some wild stuff. I don't know, but I'm trying to get you guys excited because I'm super excited. We're so close to basketball season. I want to make sure that you guys are subscribed and locked in with us. Drop a comment below. Let me know how excited you are for this upcoming season, and I will catch you guys all next video.